Hey everyone, I know it's been a while, but I am back reviewing books, and today I will be reviewing Delirium by Lauren Oliver. Sorry about the sticker, it is a library book. The cover is pretty nice, as you can see. It's kind of got the shiny thing, and then there's the face behind the letters, which is kind of different. Unfortunately, they actually changed the cover for the paperback version, or the Neo version, and now it resembles more like the cover for Lauren Oliver's first book, Before I Fall, which is too bad because I think this is pretty eye-catching, and if she had kept this up for like the entire series, that would have been pretty cool. This book is copyright 2011. It is 441 pages, and yes, like most books, I do have a few problems with it. So what I'm going to do is, for the first half, if you haven't read the book yet, you can watch the first half. For the second half, I'll have this divider thing in the middle, and for the second half, it will be for people who have read the book. If you haven't read the book and you watch like 5 seconds of part 2, it will ruin your life. I don't even know what her name is. This is not good. Oh, Lena. That's right. So this book is about a girl. She is 17 years old, and her name is Lena, short for Magdalena, and her best friend is Hannah, and she pretty much falls in love, and she lives in this dystopian society in the future where love is considered to be a disease and you need to be. What I am going to do is read the back and then read the inner flap right here. They're both pretty similar. They don't spoil that much, so I think it's pretty safe for you guys. They say that the cure for love will make me happy and safe forever. And I've always believed them, until now. Now everything has changed. Now I'd rather be infected with love for the tiniest sliver of a second than live 100 years smothered by a lie. Yay. And then there's praise, which I never read because a lot of the times it bothers me, so I've stopped. Tried to. On the inside it says, 95 days and then I'll be safe. I wonder whether the procedure will hurt. I want to get it over with. It's hard to be patient. It's hard not to be afraid, while I'm still uncured, though so far the deliria hasn't touched me yet. Still I worry. They say that in the old days, love drove people into madness. Actually, it says to madness, but I think into madness makes more sense. The deadliest of all deadly things, it kills you both when you have it and when you don't. Other than being a little cheesy, which I think any book that has anything to do with love is, and this book has everything to do with love, it's pretty good. It doesn't spoil too much. Well, kind of spoils the whole book, but at the same time it spoils nothing of the book, which is weird. It is a romance novel, so if you're into that, this would be good, I guess. And it's also a dystopian novel, so if you're into that, this would be good. And if you were into stuff like, what was it, Divergent? If you're into Divergent or Uglies or even The Hunger Games, I guess this would be okay because this is pretty much all of those somehow. So the main story, as you may have guessed, is that the delirium is this disease called love that no one ever wants to talk about, and everyone's afraid of it. Everyone's scared that they'll contract this disease and then die. They'll die and die horrible deaths. And it's like everyone's worst fear. And then the main character, her name is Magdalena, Lena for short. She contracts the disease. And then she's like, but it's a good thing. I love love. and you know, all that stuff. And that's pretty much it for part 1, and if you haven't read the book yet, I give it a 3 out of 5, which is pretty good by my standards. So if it sounds like something you'd be interested in, go ahead and read it. And that's pretty much it for part 1. Part 2 is right here. So if you haven't read it yet, yeah, you guys can either, if you don't plan to read it, you can keep watching on to part 2. If you are going to read it, I would suggest you leave and then come back when you have read it, because you don't want, there will be spoilers. I am telling you straight up, there will be spoilers. So here's part 2. Okay, now that you've actually read the book, whether you have before or not, I will start with what I liked about this book. I will start with what I don't like about this book. The author, the book is told in first person perspective from Lena's point of view, and the author, when she writes as Lena, this 17-year-old girl, she sounds like a 15-year-old girl. And you're probably saying, okay, 2-year difference, what's the big deal? The thing is, there is a huge difference between a 13-year-old mind and a 17-year-old mind, because the brain is developing so much, and I can actually remember how I thought when I was 15, and I'm 17 now, and I think way differently. Like, way differently. So it is a very, very big deal. There are a few slang words that are misused, which confused me and amused me at the same time. If you've seen any of my other videos, you will know that whenever I use the word confused, it's not good. There are a lot of aspects that aren't surprising at all. From the beginning, you know she is going to fall in love with somebody. You also know who that person is from the beginning, which, like, I've read books where it has been obvious, but it worked. Here, it didn't exactly work, but it didn't, like, kill the entire story either. I don't know if you understand that or not. It makes sense in my head. I'm not sure if it'll make sense in yours. It sounds a lot weirder when it's not in my head. Lauren Oliver, when she writes, she tries to keep it realistic. I'm hoping she is trying, at least. But a lot of the times, there are just these failed attempts. Like, I can see how she tried to make it realistic, but it wasn't realistic, and it didn't work at all. So that was a bit annoying. There were a couple of paradoxes. I completely forget where, because it's been a week and I've read other books since. So, but I know there are, because I wrote it down, so there must have been. And that's it. Thank you for watching, and I hopefully will see you next time or in another video. If you've seen any of my other videos, you will know that whenever I use the word confuse, it is a romance. Okay, wow. This is kind of so if it sounds like something you'd be interesting in, wow, okay. I cannot talk today. I wonder whether the procedural blah 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 la 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 la. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. Oh my gosh, I'm so bad at this. Red leather, yellow leather, 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 red leather, yellow leather. There we go. Okay. The deadliest of all deadly things. It kills you both when you have it. Like, if the book was this line or something of time and then the events occur along that line, they would take like a sliver of that line lengthwise instead of like just the beginning or something like most books do, and put it on the back. So that makes no sense, and I will cut that out. I completely forget what I was gonna say.